What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman for Awesemo.com, and I am back with my NBA DFS contenders on FanDuel for Monday, April 26th. Now be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all of our other content goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman so you can get updates to my sim results as we get closer to lock. And finally, let me know in the comments section who is your favorite and least favorite of my contenders for today's slate. We are rounding out the bottom of my top 10 with Kristaps Porzingis, Joel Embiid, Paul George, John Collins, and NIKOLA Jokic. That is a loaded five. Who will be my favorites, my top 5 plays for today? It's time to find out. First up at number 5, we're going to DeJounte Murray. He is point guard eligible, 6,800, projected for just shy of 37. The goal is 46. He's in the optimal lineup 21% of the time. Now, Murray and the rest of the Spurs have the benefit of taking on the Washington Wizards. They will gain 4.9 possessions over their average. This is the biggest pace-up spot that they can find. I've got Murray in for 33 minutes, 1.12 fantasy points per minute. He's got above-average usage, and he does a little bit of everything. 17 points, 7 boards, 5 assists, 2 steals, and you know that he can actually rack those steals up in bunches. Great for FanDuel scoring. And, obviously, facing the Wizards, Russell Westbrook tends to turn the ball over a little bit, so if he can grab a couple additional steals there, that would be fantastic. I love Murray here. That price tag is great. The pace is great. I think this style of game fits him, and that's why he gets to number 5. Staying in the same backcourt, we're going to point guard Derrick White, 5,800, projected for 32.5. The goal is 42. He's in the optimal lineup 22% of the time. Now, I don't really have too much else to add here. This is the exact same matchup and exact same things that I just said about DeJounte Murray. 33 minutes. Basically a fantasy point per minute. I got him at 0.98 for this game. 22% usage, 17.5 points, 4 assists, 3.5 boards, 2 stocks. So not the same steal upside, a little bit more block upside. But either way, we're getting a slightly cheaper version of a Spurs guard in a great matchup against Washington. I love White. I love Murray. I honestly wouldn't even have too big of an issue playing them together, although on an 11-game slate, that's probably not super necessary. There's probably different ways you can go to make your lineup a little bit more unique. But in this case, Murray and White, 2 of my top 5 plays of the day right now. He went nuts last time and I didn't play the slate, but today, number 3, Michael Porter Jr., small forward eligible, 7,400, projected for 38. The goal is 48, and he is in the optimal lineup 24% of the time. He's doing everything now along with Jokic now that Murray is out, and there's no Morris, and now there's no Will Barton. All of the creation and all of the scoring is going to be going to Michael Porter Jr. and NIKOLA Jokic, and you see both of them in the top 10, both of them in the top 6. I might add. 35 minutes for Michael Porter Jr., 1.1 fantasy points per minute. We've got him at 23% usage, 23 points, 7.5 boards, and that's basically it. He gets an assist, maybe a steal, maybe a block. If he gets additional versions of those stats, that would be fantastic. Pace up spot against Memphis. I'm not really worried about that matchup all that much, but they do gain 2 possessions over their average. That's all I need to see. Small forward is generally a wasteland, and I think Michael Porter Jr. is at the top of that wasteland. Next up at number 2, if he plays, power forward eligible Tobias Harris. He is 7,200, projected for just short of 40 fantasy points. The goal is 47, and he is in the optimal lineup 26% of the time. If Harris is in, I'm expecting him to just get his normal run. 34 minutes, 1.17 fantasy points per minute because there's no Ben Simmons on the floor today. 27% usage, 22, 7, and 4 baseline projections, just shy of a steal, just shy of a block. Pace up spot against Oklahoma City, and obviously we know Oklahoma City, not the best team in the world as of right now. No Lou Dort. We still have no Shea. They don't have a lot going on. There's no Al Horford revenge narrative. He's been gone for 2 months at this point. Tobias Harris is just cheap for a role that is increased with no Ben Simmons at a power forward spot that it's deep, but I think that he is pretty clearly at the top of that heap. Now, before we get to the number 1 contender, and I'll say this, the unquestionable number 1 contender, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Then head on over to Twitter, follow me at Josh Engleman so you can get the updates to these sim results as we get closer to lock. And finally, let me know in the comment section. I need your favorite contender, your least favorite contender, and the guy that you think should have been on this list that you do not see. No way around this one. Shooting guard eligible Tyrese Haliburton is the #1 contender for today's slate. He is 6,100, projected for 38. The goal is 43. He's in the optimal lineup 39% of the time. You can see that is not even remotely close to Tobias Harris, separating clearly from the pack. Haliburton is going to play huge minutes now with no De'Aaron Fox. I've got him in for 36, just north of a fantasy point per minute, 21% usage, 17.5 real points, 7.5 assists, 3.5 boards, a steal and a half. Now, it is a pace down spot and a pretty significant one against Dallas. They lose 2.7 possessions. But Tyrese Haliburton is priced as if he is not getting this additional run with no De'Aaron Fox. Everything gets better for Haliburton. More playing time, more usage, more everything for Tyrese Haliburton, and a price tag that will likely be north of 7K by the time De'Aaron Fox gets back. I can't go a different direction. This is the #1 contender. It's Tyrese Haliburton season today. Alrighty, folks, that will do it. Those are my NBA DFS contenders on FanDuel for Monday, April 26th. Process show is in the books. Go watch that. DraftKings version of this video is around here somewhere, and I will be on the strategy show with Lofty at 10 a.m., and I'll be on Live Before Lock with Greg Ehrenberg tonight from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock. Good luck tonight, everybody. Enjoy yourselves. I will see you guys again tomorrow morning for another edition of the Contenders.